Hello everyone. I hope you are having a good day so far. Thank you for taking the time out to join us today for the webinar. Today's webinar will be hosted by me, Tavant, and I'm excited to host the session today with Bill Pollock from Strategies for Growth. Bill is a well-known service industry leader. He is a former president and chief research officer of the Service Council. Before that, Bill has worked as a principal analyst in service management practice at Aberdeen Group, and he has also worked as a managing analyst in Service Industry Group at Gartner. Bill will be talking about how companies can manage their warranty processes and policies effectively to improve customer satisfaction and profitability. Before I invite Bill to start his presentation, let me inform you that you can use the chat feature on your GoToWebinar window to ask questions. Today's webinar is for 1 hour, and we have kept the last 15 minutes for Q&A. Over to you, Bill.
Thank you, Rohit, for that introduction, and thank you to all of you for participating in this webcast today. We have a lot of material to cover, so I'll be going through some of it fairly quickly, but we will be available to answer your questions at the end of my session and Rohit's session. So today, basically what we want to do is we want to talk about some key things. You're all working in the warranty management area. We want to show to you how important it is within the overall services sector and how it can be used to leverage into improved customer satisfaction and profitability, not only in 2015, but beyond. And we'll be using the results of our 2014 Warranty Management Benchmark Survey as the foundation of the data for what we're going to be sharing today. So what I'd like to do, just very briefly, is to tell you, we'll have a brief introduction to the survey, but then I want to talk about the role of warranty management, its importance within the organization, what the trends are with respect to its importance, and then move right into the principal market drivers, the drivers that are influencing the way you and your organization conduct their warranty management activities and businesses on a day-to-day basis. And when you're working on a day-to-day basis, you're facing challenges virtually every day. We'll be talking about what the major challenges are to the industry, and then we start really gaining some traction with respect to the presentation in terms of we've laid the groundwork as to what are the drivers, what are the challenges. Now we'll be talking about not only what your peers are doing in terms of what strategic actions they're taking, but what they're planning to take over the next 12 months and beyond, as well as what the market leaders are doing that may be over and above what you and your peers may be doing at the present time. We'll talk about the top warranty management capabilities and tools that are being offered to not only your customers, but to your field technicians and your warranty administrators presently and over the next 12 months. And we'll be talking about an umbrella of all the technology applications that are currently being used to empower these tools and resources that the market is beginning to adopt very largely with respect to assisting them in warranty management. Perhaps the key thing we'll be talking about, though, is toward the end of the presentation in terms of the key performance indicators that are being used to measure performance in warranty management. We'll talk about what your peers are using, what the leading organizations are using, and what results they're getting from using those measurement tools. And then some key takeaways, and then I'll turn over the microphone to Rohit, who will tell you some of the exciting new things that Tavant Technologies is offering in the warranty management area through its solution, its cloud-based solution, and we'll try to tie some things in together for all of you. So to get started, what I wanted to talk about was the survey was conducted throughout the course of 2014. We had a total of 228 respondents, which is a very good turnout. Normally we would expect 140 or 160 or so respondents, so we really did get a large number of respondents, and it allowed us to delve down a little bit deeper in some areas, and we'll share some of that information with you today. To start, though, what I'd like to talk about is how is service managed at your organization, and how is it managed at your peer and competitor organizations in the global community. What we've seen is similar data to what we've seen from other research firms, from what we've seen in our own recent surveys. We see that roughly 50%, 49 here, are independent profit centers with their own profit and loss capabilities and responsibilities. However, when you add in the 17% that are pure 100% service companies, you get a total of 66%, roughly two-thirds of the respondent base. So what this says is that today, roughly two-thirds of the market base is running service as a profit center. That's very good in a number of ways. Number one, it attunes them more to not just generating revenues, but generating profitable revenues. So they're already one step ahead of those organizations, which might include some of you, that are still presently running as cost centers. So what this will do is it lays the foundation for where the market is now. And I can tell you that 2-3 years ago, the numbers were pretty consistent. 5 to 10 years ago, the numbers were in the high 50s to low 60%. And 25 years ago, it was just about half of the market running as profit centers. So there's been a great uptick in this over the years. It's kind of plateaued over the past couple of years, while many organizations are wrestling with cost cutting and revenue generation. But profit center is the way to go. It gives you one arm up and an advantage in terms of being able to compete in the marketplace. The most common warranty management delivery processes used today, what we did is we looked at a number of factors and we've kind of clustered them up. The first one is field tech dispatched on site to perform the warranty repair. 44% say that that's the main way in which we perform warranty services today. However, if you look at the next three categories, the next three bar charts, and group them together, that amounts to about 37%, just over a third, of replacement-based support. And that's either before or after the return to the depot. It's either a replacement performed by the field tech on site or replacement sent to the customer after the unit is returned to the depot or before the failed unit is returned to the depot. So we see two main ways in which organizations like yours are handling the warranty repairs today. However, there's still just under 1 out of 5, 19%, where the customer carries the failed equipment or the failed part directly to the depot. So there's a mixed match here of different ways of performing warranty maintenance services, and each one of them needs to be covered under the solution that you're using to manage your warranty operations. And that's what Rohit will be talking about later on in terms of how the Tavant solution can accomplish all of these things. Now, one of the key things that we're seeing at the first portion of the presentation is our research has shown that most warranty processes are at least partially automated at the present time. So that's about 49%, roughly half, are saying that their warranty management processes are partially automated. Now, the way the survey was conducted, we don't know whether it's 10% automated or 90% automated. We didn't feel it was necessary to delve down to that level for this particular question because there are a lot of other revealing aspects to this question. For example, when you take a look at the 21% who say they're fully automated with respect to the warranty management processes, and you add them together, you get more than 2/3 of the respondent organizations to our survey, 70%, who say that they are at least partially automated at the present time. So that's very good because we had conducted surveys similar to this several years ago. The numbers weren't as high as 67 or 70%. So this is another indication of an uptick in trending with respect to the automation of warranty management processes. But still, what we see is that 80% of the best practices organizations are at least partially automated. So that's another 10% over and above the 70% industry-wide. So what this does is it sends a clear signal that the way we define the best practice organization in warranty management is it's an organization that's attaining at least a 90% customer satisfaction rate, and it's attaining at least a 30% profitability rate. So you might argue that just because they're making money doesn't mean that they're best practices, but I would counter that argument by saying that if they're making a very good profit and they're keeping their customers very satisfied at the same time, then that would qualify for me to be a best practices organization. So we'll see later on when we talk about strategic actions and technology adoption where the best practices organizations are taking that extra step, going that extra mile in terms of monitoring KPIs, taking strategic actions, how they differ from the average organization within the warranty management marketplace. But still, there are up to a third of the organizations that we surveyed that are well behind the curve. 20% say that the processes they use now is all manual. And granted, many of them may be smaller organizations or smaller divisions within larger companies, but then there are another 7% that have no formal warranty management process whatsoever. So that aggregation of 27%, it's between a quarter and a third. I put the title as up to 1/3 because I want this to stand out. I want the marketplace to know that there still is this percentage of organizations that are either working all manually or with no formal process whatsoever. And if you're a step behind in terms of being partially automated compared to best practices organizations, then you're more than a couple steps behind. If you're, for example, running as a cost center, your processes are all manual, or you don't even have a formal warranty management process. We'll talk about some of these aspects in a little bit more detail as we move forward. There's some good news to report, though, however. What we've seen is that annual warranty budgets are largely expected to increase. And we asked the question, how are your budgets expected to change over the next 12 months? And because of the timing of the survey, that 12 months goes through at least the middle portion of 2015. But we see this trend continuing on throughout the year and into 2016. What we see here is that 40% of the organizations surveyed say that their annual warranty budget is going to increase during that 12-month period. Now that's very good because that also includes 10% that say their budgets are going to increase by greater than 10%, some even as much as 20-25%. So this is a good, strong indication of continued growth. Nonetheless, there's still 20% that say their warranty budgets are going to decline during the year. And what that does is it gives us a ratio of roughly 2 to 1 increased over decline, with about 2 out of 5, or roughly 41%, saying the budget's going to stay about the same as it was last year. So this is not a static chart. This chart shows some growth over the next 12 months, and it's a very welcome growth because we didn't see these kinds of growth numbers over the most recent 3, 4, 5-year period. Now, presently, about 10 to 25% of work orders are being serviced under warranty. So the sweet spot here is the 10 to 25%, but basically a quarter of organizations say that's where we are today. Now, if you look at the bottom of this chart, you look at the mean and median averages, you see that the median organization is performing about 14%, or roughly 1 out of 7 of the work orders under warranty. So that means half are doing 14% or more, half are doing less than 14%. However, the mean average of almost 21% indicates that there are some significant organizations that are presently performing more than a quarter, more than a half, even more than 75% of their work orders under warranty. So that's skewing that mean average a little bit higher, but it's also telling us in the marketplace that there are some that are already doing quite a bit of service under warranty with respect to their total work orders. And what's happening here is the same thing that we've seen happening with budgets. Over the 12-month period, the previous 12-month period, this percentage has also increased. And what we see here is 28% say that the percentage of warranty services conducted, or work orders conducted under warranty services has increased. 28% of the marketplace says that, compared to only 14% who say it's decreased. So once again, that's a ratio of about 2 to 1. So we see the importance of warranty becoming even greater, even more important. Now, taking a look at extended warranty, those of you who have a robust extended warranty program already know the benefits of having a good contract attachment rate, a good contract renewal rate, and a good source of extended warranty sales. So this is where much of the revenue can generate much of the profit for a warranty management-oriented organization. What we see here is the sweet spot is between roughly 3.5% or so to 13%. And this is where most organizations are presently with respect to the contribution of extended warranties to their total service revenues. Having done research in this area over the years, I could strongly suggest that all organizations should look toward improving the way they sell extended warranties, bringing that money in. It's not only more revenue, generating more profit, but it's also more predictable revenue. So this is very critical to the well-being of any warranty management organization. Now, the percentage has also increased over the past 12 months as well, where we see that 27% say that extended warranty sales have increased for us, and only 5% say they've decreased for us over these past 12 months. Still, around 2/3, 68%, say it's remained about the same. but there's been a 5-to-1, a greater than 5-to-1 ratio of increases to decreases over the past 12 months. So that also shows one more upticking trend with respect to the well-being of the warranty management community. Now, this may sound like the most silly question in the entire survey. How important is effective warranty management to the well-being of your organization when we're surveying warranty managers and warranty professionals? However, we ask this kind of question in every one of our surveys. In a field service survey, we ask how important is effective field service to the overall well-being of the company. Same thing with remote services, contract management, fleet management, all services-related disciplines. But what we found here is something that's very interesting. For example, 76% of the respondents say that effective warranty management is in fact important to the well-being of our organization. But to me, stunningly, 28%, more than a quarter, say it's at least extremely important to the well-being of the organization. What we've seen in other surveys, whether it's field service or some of the other ones I had just mentioned, the numbers aren't as high as 76%. They're typically in the 60 percentile. And the ones that say what we're doing is extremely important to the overall well-being of our company hardly ever gets into the 20s. It's typically about half this. So what this says to me is that warranty professionals, at least the ones that took this particular survey, believe in what they're doing. They believe it's important. They believe it's getting more important, and they believe they're making more money off of it. All of the trends seem to be moving in a positive fashion. Still, there are 6% that say it's not very important or not important at all to the overall well-being of the company, and these would be organizations that presently do not have effective warranty management. They don't know what they can gain from that yet, so they really don't believe in the importance of it yet. They haven't drunk the Kool-Aid that the rest of us have drunk when we've seen the results and the benefits of having effective warranty management in our organizations. And what's really great about this is the highest ratio we saw in the entire chart. Roughly 32%, one-third say that effective warranty management is more important than it was a year ago, and only 1% say it's less important than 1 year ago. Two-thirds, fairly complacent, it's the same importance as it was a year ago, but from our earlier surveys a year ago, it was still very important. So what this shows is a 32-to-1 ratio of respondents saying effective warranty management is getting more important this year than it was last year, and I am certain that if we conduct this survey a year from now, we're going to get the same kinds of results. So what I'd like to talk about now, though, is the principal drivers that are influencing and impacting warranty management organizations like yours on a daily basis. These drivers are very critical because these are the drivers that organizations like yours rally around in terms of, well, what are the challenges? We'll talk about them in another minute. But what do we do about it? What actions do we take? Are we taking the right actions now, or are we planning the right actions for later? Well, we better start doing that because this is what's driving us. So we took a look at a long laundry list of drivers, and we found some very interesting results. What we also found, though, is that the results can be clustered into more conceptual or strategic ways of looking at it. So looking at the first cluster, we see the customer-focused cluster. And this has 3 factors where we ask the question, which of the following are the top 3 drivers influencing your warranty management organization today? So if we had asked, which of any of the following are influencing you today, the numbers will all be in the 80s and 90%. But we asked, what are the top 3 factors, and aggregated the numbers appropriately. So what this shows is the drivers that are demonstrated to be the most important of the top tier factors among the top 3 among our total respondent base. So it's very clear in terms of the customer focus. They're looking at customer retention, not just satisfying the customers, but keeping them as customers. They're looking at post-sale customer satisfaction issues. That's the satisfaction aspect, but satisfaction isn't as important as the 56% who cited customer retention is even more important than that. And customer demand for improved warranty services is also cited by just over a third of the respondents as one of the top 3 factors. So what this shows very clearly is that the warranty management marketplace is focused squarely on the customer. That's their number one focus. But they still have some other key drivers that are driving them every day. The next one is not necessarily a cluster, but it's representative of a cluster, cost focus, product defect related costs. We'll see the costs for processing warranty claims have been going up. I'll show a slide a little bit later on. But in today's economy, many costs are increasing year over year over year. And product defect related costs also are increasing for many organizations. So this is a key driver, but not at the expense of taking care of the customer. What we saw that's also very revealing about today's market is the third cluster of drivers, revenue focused. Mandates internally, executive mandates, we must improve our service profitability, and we have to drive increased service revenues. And whereas in earlier years, maybe 15, 20 years ago, when the economy was generally not volatile, fairly copacetic, things were going well, then in those kinds of surveys, we would see the need to drive revenues before the need to drive profitability. Now we see the need to drive profitability because it's there if you have the tools to get it. And most organizations are beginning to realize that through the sale of extended warranties and contract attachment rates, et cetera, and so forth, they can start bringing in those revenues that will start bringing in the profits. Now, there are other key drivers that we wanted to take a look at, because when you look at these drivers, for example, you see a range of 12% to 21%. They look very small compared to the earlier chart, because 12% is only 1 out of 8, 21% is just over 1 out of 5. However, if 1 out of 5 respondents says that it's one of my top 3 drivers dealing with inferior or deficient product quality, then that's a major driver in the marketplace. And I would argue that even those 1 out of 8 that say escalating warranty-related administrative costs or the need to improve supply chain performance, if 1 out of 8 are saying that that's one of our top 3 drivers, then that's also a driver that you need to look at. Because if you only look at the drivers we just saw in the previous chart and you don't focus on these, once you start repairing any flaws you have in meeting those drivers, attending to those drivers, then these are going to start rearing their ugly heads. And now is the time to start taking a look at these as well as the principal drivers that are driving your particular business at this time. Now, the drivers are a little bit different than the challenges. The drivers are manifestations of what the challenges might be. But taking a look at the greatest challenges facing your industry today, we see that 48%, again, just under half, just about half, say identifying the root cause of product failures is the #1 challenge we're facing. But there are a number of other challenges, and these challenges that are cited by plus or minus 1/3 of the respondents make them very important as well. Managing warranty fulfillment, administrative costs, repair management, claims processing time and accuracy. We'll see what KPIs are being used to measure them, and how for some those KPI results are not very good at the present time. We'll see that a little bit later. And high levels of no faults found. So these are all critical areas of challenges facing today's marketplace. But there are other challenges too, and these challenges typically revolve around performance and cost and management issues. And what you see here is, again, it's just bubbling under the top challenges shown on the first chart. But what we like to do that other research analyst firms don't do is we like to look at page 2, because if you only look at page 1, you only look at the top factors, and you would miss this. And by looking at this, we see that between 1/4 and 1/3 of respondent organizations say that we're challenged today in terms of our ability to sell extended warranties and to recover costs from suppliers. And then 1 out of 6, 7, or 8 are saying we're still challenged today with reverse logistics management, our warranty reserve accrual management, and finding reliable suppliers. And we'll talk about what you need to do to find reliable suppliers in a few slides from here. So to put things in perspective with regard to strategic actions already in place, the top actions currently being undertaken, there's only one that's been cited by a majority of respondents, and that's 52% say developing or improving metrics or KPIs, key performance indicators, for advanced warranty chain analytics. That's our #1 current strategic action. Now, just to put things in perspective, This is identical to the 52% that we got when we surveyed the field service management marketplace. So warranty managers and field service managers are pretty much in tune with respect to this is the top strategic action to the same percentile. However, when we look at best practices organizations, 62% of them, approaching 2/3, cite this as the #1 strategic action being taken. So that should raise a flag in everyone's mind that if you're not doing this right now, if you're not improving what you've got or expanding what you've got with respect to KPIs, then you're not only falling behind the best practices organizations, you're falling behind the market as a whole. Now, there are other strategic actions currently being taking place that are, for many organizations, possibly yours, are still just as important. Those that are just bubbling under the 50% line at roughly 1/3 or higher are streamlining return process, improving warranty management related planning and forecasting activity, and at 32%, even restructuring our organization for improved warranty management oversight and accountability. So this is where companies put the metal to the pedal in terms of we need to change this, we need to improve our KPIs, and we might even need to reorganize and restructure our organization to make sure there's accountability, to make sure things that we believe need to get done do get done. And if you look down even at that 19% number, restructuring or updating existing warranty pricing schedule, that's also important to roughly 1 out of 5 respondents. So what you have may not be doing it for you in terms of warranty management, generating the profits and the satisfaction that you want. You may have to do some restructuring in order to move to the next level. Now, the strategic actions being planned in the next 12 months show a slightly different but very encouraging pattern as well. The numbers here are not as high as the numbers we just saw, but that's because the numbers were fairly high for those that are currently taking these actions. For example, 28% are currently instituting or enforcing process workflow improvements for supplier cost recovery. When you add the 28% to 27%, it may not be entirely additive, but you get about 55%, more than half, that are saying this is what we will have been doing by the end of 2015. And if you take the 23% that are saying we're going to be developing or improving our metrics or KPIs, add that to the 52%, you get 75%, roughly 3/4, who are saying this is where we're going to be 1 year from now with our strategic action. So we see here, again, great movement forward in terms of what the key actions are and what the key actions need to be as we move through 2015 and beyond. Now, if you take these actions and you don't do anything with it, then you're not going to benefit from it. So there are some top warranty management capabilities that we want to talk about, and we'll start with the ones that are currently in place. What we see here is structured warranty management integration with all of the service functions within the organization is cited by almost 3/4, 73%, as the #1 capability we have in place. But there are a number of other capabilities here that are also cited by more than half, the majority of the respondents. And whenever you get a majority of respondents saying, this is what we have in place, you have to look internally at your own organization, because if you don't have these capabilities in place, then more than half of the marketplace you compete against has them in place, so you're behind the curve once again. And these things range from end-to-end workflow processing to handle claims and returns to senior executive oversight that we've talked about before, centralized data warehouse, and the ability to track in-warranty repairs at the point of service. So these are all top capabilities currently in place. But there are other capabilities here, some that are just above or just approaching the 50% mark, and these are all important too. And the one thing to look at, rather than just reading each one of them, you see a couple of them are revolving around KPI measurements, total warranty costs, claims processing time. And we're seeing the intrusion into the capabilities today of more and more KPI-related functionality. And it gets even greater than this. But wait, there's more. Between 1/3 and not quite half of the marketplace are saying that we're also looking at getting our warranty management operational and financial information distributed to more people within the organization who have a need to know. But we're also looking at a number of other KPI measurement related issues like claims rates, detection to correction time. We want to collaborate more with our other partner groups within our organization, and we want to make sure that we have a closed-loop warranty management system in place. So these are all very important functions that are currently being offered, and there's even more being planned in the next 12 months. So we have here roughly plus or minus 20%, plus or minus 1 out of 5, that say we're going to be adding a number of new functionalities over the next 12 months through 2015 and then beyond. So once again, if your organization isn't planning these kinds of things, then it should be, because this is where you're going to need to compete on a level playing field as we move through the year and beyond. So to put things in perspective one more time with respect to technology applications, what we saw here is 5 applications that are currently being used by at least half of the warranty management organizations that were included in our survey. Very few surprises here. Customer relationship management is always the #1 technology app that's cited, typically between 65 and 75 of respondents, depending on what aspect of service we're surveying at the time. Enterprise resource planning, or ERP, also always typically in the mid-50s to low 60s. Spare parts and inventory management, similar numbers. What we see here, though, is contract management and financial accounting systems have blipped up over the 50% line in warranty management, where they're not quite that high when we look at things like field management and remote services benchmark surveys that we've done over the past couple or few years. So we see here something that's not too out of line from what our expectations were. And when we look below that 50% line, we see that warranty management within the warranty management community is only used by 47% of respondent organizations. So that was a little surprising to me. That might be influenced by some of the SMBs, or small and medium-sized businesses, that might have taken the survey. But what we see is numbers that start to mirror what we're finding from some of our other surveys, in field services in particular, with respect to the percentages saying that business intelligence and analytics is important to us, and product lifecycle management and service lifecycle management are both important to us. Now, the technology applications being planned over the next 12 months through 2015 at the very least also show a trend here that I can see that you may not be able to see, not having seen some of our earlier data. For example, here we see between 6% and 22% who are planning to acquire these technology applications over the next 12 months. These numbers may look fairly low to you, but typically in surveys of this kind conducted among the services communities, these numbers range from 6% maybe to 16 or 18%. So what this shows is that there's relatively more interest among the warranty management community to acquire some new technologies over the next 12 months that focus in service lifecycle management, or field service management, service forecasting and planning, and enterprise asset management, as well as business intelligence and analytics, and a companion to that, knowledge management applications. So what we see here is, I wouldn't go so far as to call it robust, but I would say that it's a strong uptick in technology acquisition that we're foreseeing and projecting over the next 12 months. Now, as I had said before, you can take the actions, you can use and implement the technology, but if you don't do anything with it, then you're not really getting anything out of it. So we've asked, what are the top uses of data and information that are collected from warranty events among the warranty management community? The #1 use of data and information is to improve field service processes. And that makes sense. That's almost intuitive. However, there are a number of other factors here, and it's very encouraging that warranty managers are collecting these data not only to improve field service processes, but to make design changes, to improve the equipment and part return processes, to improve the depot repair processes, and to make manufacturing changes. So you're in the services community to begin with in warranty management, but you're not looking only to supporting other services activities within your organization. You're also looking to support product development in terms of design changes and manufacturing in terms of manufacturing changes. So this shows the collaboration that we're seeing. Much of the collaboration in many organizations is fostered by the embracing of cloud technology. And that's very important in the warranty management area. And Rohit will be talking to you about some of Tavant Technologies' newer offerings that are cloud-based, which will also help you to collaborate more strongly within the organization and to be able to use the data and information you collect from warranty events as your peers are doing as evidence from this chart. There are other key uses of data and information collected from warranty events as well. And these are all important because, again, the numbers range from about a quarter to over a third of responses, and that's to make a supplier selection, purchasing decisions, changes to product documentation, and for inclusion in regular corporate financial performance reporting. So what this says to me is that the uses of the data go beyond the black box. If the black box is just my own warranty management operation, the uses of the data go beyond just what I'm doing. It goes into what we're doing as an organization, and that's very critical. That's very strong among the best practices organizations from the research that we've done. Now, roughly half of the respondents to our survey currently are outsourcing some of their reverse logistics and repair activities. We see reverse logistics and overall repair operations are being outsourced, at least partially, by roughly a half or just a little under a half of the respondents. But there are other activities being outsourced a little less commonly, but still, when you look at 28 to 37% saying we're outsourcing some of our spare parts planning and inventory management, our returns management, our claims administration, these are all areas where organizations like you need their help, but you still need some help in terms of managing your overall warranty activities. There are only 15% that say that they're outsourcing all of their warranty processes, including service management today, but that trend hasn't really been a trend. It's not particularly robust. We'll see some increase over the year and beyond, but not very much at this time. But when you're evaluating an outsourced vendor or supplier, what do you look at? How do you make a determination of who to use? Well, it's very clear what most of the marketplace uses. 88%, almost 9 out of 10, say, what's it going to cost me? What's the cost of outsourcing? But there are other aspects that are also very important. A majority still say industry reputation and financial viability is very important for me before I select a vendor to offload some of our day-to-day tasks. But there are also some other areas that are just as important. These numbers have been growing. They're at 48% each now, but within a year or so, they'll be up at 50% or higher, and that's looking for a vendor with specific geographic experience and a global footprint with global coverage. And by global, we don't only mean geographic. We also refer to the depth and breadth of the warranty management offerings that come through the solution that you would be using. So, and then, by the way, that's another thing that Rohit will be talking about in terms of Tavant's global footprint with respect to its warranty services. Other outsourced partner evaluation factors include a range of other things in terms of their specific experience within warranty management with data and reporting capabilities. That will lessen a little bit over time as more and more organizations become more cloud-based with their data collection and distribution. That won't be as important a factor later on, but it's still pretty important today. The ability to integrate software services, the specific vertical market experience, whether you're in retail or in services or in manufacturing, you look for an organization like that. And again, that's why an organization like Tavant becomes so critical to assist many organizations, because they've got expertise in all of those areas, and Rohit will be talking about that as well. The key performance indicators, I had alluded earlier, these are among the most important things we're going to be talking about. First, we're going to take a look at what your peers are measuring, then we'll talk about what results they're getting. So currently, there are 3 KPIs that are being measured by a majority of your peers. 83% are measuring customer satisfaction. As a marketing guy from way back, I'd like to see that number in the 90s, but 83% is about as high as we get in any of our surveys. Your market in particular is looking at total warranty costs and warranty costs per product, as main KPIs. But there are many other KPIs here that are being used, and you can go down the list here and add to that top 3 the next 5, actually the next 6, because those 8 or 9 KPIs are what best practices organizations within the warranty management community are currently looking at. A majority of them are using 8 or 9 of these KPIs, not just the top 3 here that were listed by the survey respondents. So what that does is if you only look at the top 3, you get some indication of your performance. But you really have to start delving down to what's really important within your organization. I'll give you an example. The singular most important KPIs currently being used, 31%, roughly a third, are saying customer satisfaction. About a quarter, 26%, say total warranty costs. And about 1 out of 8, 13%, are saying warranty costs per product. So that's roughly 2/3 of the marketplace says that these are the singularly most important KPIs that we measure. Now, many people ask me over the years, how many KPIs should we be measuring? There are 2 different conventions. One convention is if you're measuring more than 2 or 3, you're measuring too much. Another one is if you're measuring less than 9 or 10, you're measuring too little. The rule of thumb that I like to suggest to my clients is do a benchmark or a baseline survey or accountability of where you stand, where your performance is. Any area where you're not performing as desired, whether it's customer satisfaction, claims processing time, claims processing cost, reimbursement cycle time, if you're not performing to your expectations, to your needs, to what your peers are performing, and it needs improvement, then you should include that as a KPI. Because you're not going to be able to gauge how successful you are in changing something unless you're measuring it before you implement change and then after the change has been implemented. So the rule of thumb is if you're having problems with it, if it's a challenge, start measuring it, measure it religiously. And then after a while, if you're measuring customer satisfaction, for example, and you've plateaued at 95% for 6 years in a row, well, then maybe you don't have to measure it every quarter. Maybe every year would be good enough. And there are some other areas where you're not attaining your targets. You might need to step up a quarterly basis of measuring your success. So the mean values that we're currently seeing in the marketplace from this survey appear to be reasonably high. 85% customer satisfaction, 5.5 days warranty claims processing time, but they're not as high as what you might expect. For example, that means that half the marketplace isn't achieving 85% satisfaction. We'll show you how bad it gets in some segments. For example, 43% not attaining at least 90% customer satisfaction. And, 88, 89% customer satisfaction may not be bad for your organization. But 20%, 1 in 5, are not even attaining 80% customer satisfaction. And that's bad. If your customer satisfaction level is 76, 7, 8%, that's not good at all. And 1 out of 5 in the marketplace are not attaining that kind of level. When we look at warranty claims processing time, almost 3/4 are not attaining 2 days or less warranty claims processing time. Almost half, 40%, not attaining 4 days or less warranty claims processing time. And 1 out of 8, roughly 13%, are taking 15 days or more for warranty claims processing time. If you find yourself in any of these bottom categories, then you need to look internally and say, do we have a formal enough warranty management program? Are we automated enough? Are we operating as a cost center? Do we have the right strategic actions to address the challenges we're facing? Do we have the right technology? Are we offering the right tools to our customers and to our field technicians? This is the one chart that I believe is the most compelling one in the entire presentation, or at least my portion, because this sets the defining line as to do you need some support or are you doing okay? Most organizations need some support based on the survey results that we've seen. Now, there is some good news, though. Warranty claims processing time has improved year over year. We've seen a 30% improvement cited among the respondent base, compared to only 13% saying it's declined. That's a ratio of greater than 2 to 1 saying the time has improved. Reimbursement cycle time has also improved. We've got more than a third saying it's improved year over year, only 14% saying it's declined year over year, and that's again a ratio of about 2.5 to 1. So that's another good uptick in trending. Revenues from extended warranty sales have also increased year over year. 48% say it's increased for our organization. Only 9% say it hasn't increased for our organization. It's in fact decreased. And that's a ratio of about 5 to 1 saying that it's increased. We're doing a better job in generating extended warranty sales. However, there's always a dark lining to some silver clouds, if I can invert that phrase. Warranty claims processing costs have also increased. And what we're seeing is 31% say, yes, they have increased at our organization. 18% say they decreased in our organization, and about half say no change. But that's a ratio of just under 2 to 1 saying our costs have increased. And in today's economy, costs are increasing. That's what we've been seeing. Now, how does it all tie into the support that you're using to help you gain effective warranty management? Presently, the support might be a little lacking out there. Only 39% of users are presently satisfied with their primary warranty management vendor. And only 12%, only 1 in 8 are extremely satisfied. These numbers are fairly low. And we look at this as being a fairly complacent market. Roughly half of the marketplace says we're neither satisfied nor dissatisfied with our primary warranty management vendor. So what this means is if you're working with a vendor that's not helping you address those challenges, that doesn't have the technology and the tools that enable you to offer those capabilities to your people and your customers, then maybe you're not using the right vendor. So that's why this chart becomes so important. And 1 out of 10 are not at all satisfied with their vendor. Even at a low number of 10%, that's much higher than we typically see in a question of this type in a service-related industry. So the key takeaways from my portion of the presentation, I'm not going to read them all, but my take in looking at the results of the survey has been this, that the market is improving. Costs may be going up, but so is the ability of organizations to generate revenue, to generate profitability. They're investing more in technology over the next 12 months. There's an improvement in budget allowances for 2015 and probably beyond. There's an increase in the sale of extended warranties. All of the key trends are ticking upwards, and that's what we like to see. It appears that we're in a growth industry once again. All industries kind of got dampened during the economic downturn of the last several years, but warranty management is clearly among the growth industries. You've got the resources and the tools, and you've got a vendor like Tavant Technologies out there that can help you to bring yourself up to the next level, even if that's aspiring to be among the best practices organizations. So at this time, I'm going to turn over the presentation to Rohit. I'll give him the microphone. He'll tell you a little bit about Tavant, and then we'll take some of your questions and provide you with some answers. So thank you very much for listening to this. And Rohit, it's all yours now.
Thank you, Bill. So let me quickly talk about who we are and how Tavant Solutions can help you automate your warranty processes. Tavant Technologies is a specialized IT solutions and services provider that leverages its deep industry expertise to provide impactful results to its customers. Founded back in 2000, we are headquartered in Silicon Valley, and our customers and staff of 1,200 are spread across North America, Europe, and Asia Pacific. Tavant is a global company, and as Bill was saying earlier, you need to look for a global partner for your warranty solutions. Being a global company, we are in a good position to provide solutions that meet the global business requirements of our customers. Now, Tavant is a growing company, and we have invested considerable amount of money and time in making sure that our employees are happy and satisfied with what they are doing. We believe that happy employees lead to happy customers. We are proud of the fact that Tavant has one of the lowest attrition rates in IT industry. These rewards and recognitions are testaments of our efforts in this area. So now let's talk about Tavant Warranty. So Tavant started working on a warranty solution about 12 years ago. We have focused primarily on building enterprise-class warranty management solutions so far. Over the years, we have built a strong service industry expertise. We are working with large Fortune 500 corporations to enable them to transform their warranty program to improve overall customer and service channel satisfaction. Tavant Warranty is powered by a strong, intuitive business rules engine that allows the warranty business users to adapt the system as per changing customer needs and customer behavior. Tavant solution can seamlessly integrate with your ERP, finance, and other sales and marketing systems. This allows you to maintain a continuity in your processes. So while we are continuously working on improving our enterprise solution, we have also launched a new version of our successful warranty solution on Salesforce Cloud. So now let's talk about Tavant Warranty on the cloud. So Tavant launched its warranty solution on the Salesforce Cloud back in 2014, and what we have seen is that the Salesforce platform is enabling companies to manage their customer interactions more effectively. We wanted to take it further and enable a 360 view of customer for our partners. We believe that going forward, it is mandatory for companies to look at overall holistic picture of their customer relationships. Now with the connected solution, you can run your marketing campaigns, you can generate your leads, you can convert them into actual orders, you can manage all the post-sales interactions, including warranty claims, service repairs, and any other customer service interactions that you are having with your customers in one system. This will help you in improving your customer loyalty and overall customer satisfaction. Our Salesforce solution is built on the same robust principles as our current enterprise warranty platform. So this is also powered by a very powerful business rules engine that we have customized on top of what is provided out of the box by Salesforce. So we will be participating in the warranty conference this year. Please feel free to stop by and get more information about our solution on the cloud. And you can also find out how Tavant is helping its current customers in transforming their warranty processes and how it can help you achieve much higher customer satisfaction by transforming your warranty processes. Bill is also conducting a pre-conference workshop on the same topic. You can register for the workshop to learn more about how to leverage effective warranty management into improved customer satisfaction and profitability at your organization. Please be sure to sign up for Bill's workshop at the upcoming Warranty Change Management Conference in Miami, the day before the official start of the conference. This will be a comprehensive shared learning experience opportunity for you and your warranty management teams. Now I will open the webinar for questions, and we will start with the questions that have been collected so far and which have been asked by you people who are on the webcast. So now the first question we have is for Bill. So one of the participants is asking that we are running our warranty services group as a cost center. Can we still benefit from stepping up to an automated warranty management system? Over to you now, Bill.
Well, thank you, Rohit. That's a very good question. Just because your organization is currently being run as a cost center doesn't mean that you have to be left out from advances in technology or advances in optimization with respect to the activities and functions you perform. So, for example, if you're running as a cost center and you're not particularly automated, by automating the cost center, you can still gain very many advantages and benefits. There'll be less data lost from entering, re-entering, and re-entering data. Things will move quicker if you're more automated. But the key to it is you don't want to just make what you're doing faster. You want to make what you're doing better and then faster. So taking a look internally at the processes that you're using, are you focusing enough attention on the areas of warranty management planning and demand forecasting as your peers? If you take a look at some of the earlier charts that we presented, if you're not using the right technologies, if you're not offering the right tools and functionality to your people, then you really do need to start looking at that. So whether you're a cost center or a profit center, you still need to look at the same kinds of internal improvements, whether they're structural, operational, or marketing related.
Thank you, Bill.
You're welcome.
So the next question that we have from the participants is, we are just beginning to automate our processes. what should we automate first? And I will answer that one. So based on our experience of working with different customers in different markets, we have found that you should first automate your warranty registration process. This will help you capture good customer information upfront, and it will also enable you to keep track of your warranty liabilities. And we can tell you for sure that accurate customer information and better tracking of your warranty exposure are the foundations for automating the rest of your warranty processes. So as a first step, you should look at improving your customer data, and you should look at being able to track your warranty liabilities more closely. Okay, so now we have a few questions, and they are all around customer satisfaction. So Bill, I'm going to hand it over to you. So the question that we have is, we are not attaining anywhere near a 90% customer satisfaction rate. What are the best things we can do to make some headway?
Thank you, Rohit. That's another great question. What you need to do before you take any steps to improve customer satisfaction is to understand where you are first. So if you're not already benchmarking or baselining customer satisfaction, not just overall, but with respect to the individual components of the warranty services that you offer to your customers, you need to start benchmarking them today. Then you need to look at your progress over time, and there are a number of ways to identify where you need some help. For example, if you realize that you've got some problems with individual warranty service events, then you might want to just take care of them by conducting post-event mini surveys that run 3 to 5 minutes or are administered by a mail-out postcard or an email to find out how yesterday's warranty service activity was performed, was it to your satisfaction. There are others that look at Net Promoter Score because they're looking at something that's more of a marketing aspect in terms of referenceability and citability. And that's not a bad way of looking at things. The way my organization likes to deal with its customers and clients is to look more strategically at not only how are we doing with the kinds of things that we're performing today for you. Are we doing excellent or good or bad or fair or poor? We also like to ask the questions, what do you need in order to make your warranty management activities easier to manage? And if we're not offering what you need, then we need to know that too. So it's not just a matter of customer satisfaction, it's a matter of meeting customer needs and requirements too. So in order to make headway, what you need to do is understand the needs and requirements of your customers, the needs and requirements of your employees, and particularly the warranty claim administrators, the warranty staff, the field service staff, the depot repair staff, and to meet their needs. And once you start meeting your needs internally, that's going to trickle down externally as well. So there are many places to start, but you have to know where you are, where you want to go, and then start doing strategically some improvement tasks in order to fix things that may be broken or are about to break.
Thank you, Bill. So the next question that we have is along the same lines. So one of the participants is asking that we are not measuring all the key KPIs identified in the survey. How many should we be measuring, and how do we know if we are measuring the right ones?
Well, okay, that's a good question. That might have come in earlier because I did talk a little bit about that. But again, the key to KPIs is if everything's going well, then you still need to measure it to make sure that all of a sudden there isn't a glitch or a downturn. But if things aren't going well, if you've got a problem with claims processing time, a problem with recovering costs from suppliers, et cetera, and so forth, then you really have to step up and look at those KPIs specifically. Some KPIs are KPIs you're going to keep in the mix time after time after time, period after period. That would be something like total warranty cost per product, customer satisfaction. But there are other KPIs that you're only going to be looking at as needed, which is while something is in disrepair, while you're having problems in one area, use the KPIs to measure those problems, implement steps to fix it. Once it's fixed, then keep measuring it for a little bit, but then you can stop measuring that as a key KPI and maybe just look on an annual basis to see if you're maintaining current levels. So it's up to the organization, but basically where it hurts the most is where you need to measure and improve the most. And that's how most organizations, including the leading ones, handle KPIs.
Thank you, Bill. So now we have a couple of questions. Again, we are talking about customer satisfaction. So one of the participants is asking that, what are some of the recommendations to do a variable customer satisfaction survey? And another participant is asking on the same lines, and their question is, how do we measure so that it's an easy measurement?
Okay. Well, I think I already spoke about different options for conducting surveys. The kind of surveys that we think do the most good for companies are not just simple surveys that say, how did we do yesterday in our activity? You need to go back and talk to the customer and ask questions about the total customer experience they've been having with you, perhaps over the last 6 months or 12 months or something like that, rather than how did we do yesterday, because you might have messed up quite a bit earlier in the year, but did a good job yesterday, and you're only asking about yesterday. You're not going to find out if there's any residual dissatisfaction among that customer. With respect to customer satisfaction measurement being easy, the thing that makes it easy is you basically put a plan together. It's what are we measuring, who are we going to ask with respect to their takes on our performance, what units of measurement are we going to be using in the questions, in the surveys that we ask, and what are we going to do with the data. So that's not rocket science. The rocket science is to be able to maximize each of those areas and make sure that you're asking questions that relate to what's important to the customer, not just what's important to you. Also, when you ask questions, the customer is going to say, well, they ask questions about claims processing time, which I've had a problem with, which means they ask the question, they're going to do something about it, it's going to get better. So 6 months later, 1 year later, if it doesn't get better, then that customer is going to be even more upset then than they were 6 or 12 months earlier, because you asked them what they thought, they told you what they thought, you didn't do anything about it. So conducting the customer surveys is relatively easy. Doing something with the results is a lot more difficult.
Thank you, Bill. So actually, we have currently run out of time. Please feel free to email your questions to Bill and or me. A link with a recording to this webcast and white paper will be emailed to everyone who participated in the webinar today. Thank you, Bill, for your valuable findings, and thanks again, everyone, for attending. You can find more information about the items discussed today by meeting us at the warranty conference or by visiting the websites for Strategies for Growth and Tavant Technologies. Thank you, everyone.